Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. We are excited to talk about our new pricing model today. This has been what we hoped was going to be our first LinkedIn Live, but now, you know what? It's even better because we're way better at Zoom anyway, and we love Zoom,
Yeah.
even though they may or may not be the reason why we're not connected to LinkedIn right now. So maybe we don't love Zoom at the moment, but either way, let's get into it. We have a lot to talk about. So, Danielle, I mean, what are we even doing here? What is the purpose of this event today? We have MemoryFox. Everyone probably knows MemoryFox is about collecting impact stories, but what's so new that we have to have an event like this today?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Carly. And thank you for trying to get us on LinkedIn today. We'll send this recording and hopefully folks will be able to get an opportunity to watch what we chatted about today. And we'll of course keep an eye on the chat. But the goal of this session today was to share our new membership options. I am on the side of MemoryFox where I get to meet with nonprofits every day and talk about their storytelling goals. And one of the things we previously did is we talked about equitable pricing and how we can make things affordable for MemoryFox. And one of the things that we heard was that we want to have some new membership tiers and different ways to opt in, some lower cost starting points so that someone maybe that just has an upcoming event or they just want to try out a couple campaigns or maybe they only need a couple campaigns or a certain amount of storage. There's a lower price point to get started there and grow as you go sort of model. So we wanted to make time today to talk about these new membership options, give folks an opportunity to ask questions, do a breakdown of the different features that exist and what you get in each one. So I'm going to share my screen here and we will take a look at a high level agenda that we're going to run through today. But like I said, we'll talk a little bit about what MemoryFox is. We will go over the membership options and the different tiers that now exist where you can get started. A little bit of a feature breakdown. So talking about what some of those items are. Some people may not know what a campaign is or what uploads are or any of that stuff. So we'll break that down today. We'll also talk about a quick example of one of our customers and how they use MemoryFox and what sort of features they use and what tier they would fall into now that we have that. And then just ask us anything along the way. So questions throughout this process, feel free to ask us anything, but we'll just do a pause at each of these stops and make room for questions. So we'll keep an eye on the chat there as folks hopefully trickle in and ask us questions. Does that sound good, Carly?
That works great for me. I personally have a lot of questions too, so I'm excited for you to show me some new information because I have a lot. I'm very curious, so I have a lot of questions and I'm ready to unload on you.
Okay, great. And what we may be able to get this done a little bit quicker than a full hour since we're not live on LinkedIn. So, but we'll make as much time as needed. Hopefully, folks can pop in. Okay, so I think what's helpful is actually to just do a quick zoom out moment of what is MemoryFox from a high level, so that you guys can have a look at, what we are doing here at MemoryFox. We'll look at the membership tiers. So let's zoom out for a second. One thing about MemoryFox is that all of our subscriptions are annual. So we work with our customers across 12 months and we break everything down into collect, organize, and share. So on the left side, this is the storyteller side of the journey, the collection tool, how your community would share stories with your organization. So we will walk through a little bit more about how campaigns work and how many campaigns you get in different tiers. But when you hear MemoryFox Story Collection Campaign, this is what we're talking about here. So this is the storyteller side of the journey, how your community would share pictures, videos, written testimonials with your organization. It is a completely branded, guided tool where you're making a space for your community to share content with you guys. And so what you're doing is you're customizing the journey for them, being super clear for them about what it is you're asking for, why you're asking for it, and giving folks options. So you're giving them storyteller prompts giving them different ways and spaces to answer questions based on what you want them to talk about. And then you're giving folks the ability to do a video testimonial, a photo with a caption, a written testimonial, or they can upload content. So if they've previously taken photos or videos, they can upload that over to you. The story collection campaign is really designed to be an extension of your website, your branding. So when they click on the link, there's no download required, there's no password. We've tried to make a very barrier-free experience because we know it's can be really tough to get people to participate and actually take a moment to share. So when we get this link in front of them, we want to make sure it's super simple and super clear. We're asking consent along the way, being really upfront about what it is we're asking for, why we're asking for it. So they can feel really good about sharing and you guys can feel really good about using it. So within the story bank here, we have the organized side. So this is where all of your content gets stored and organized at the point of capture. So we hear all the time, I need a picture or video. I'm doing a social media post. I'm doing a fundraiser and I don't have any pictures or videos. Our goal at MemoryFox is to help you build a story bank, a centralized hub where all of your content gets stored and organized for you by how you've collected it. So you don't have to spend additional time organizing things into folders, chasing down pictures and videos from someone's phone or in the Google Drive. This is a central hub where everything gets stored and organized by the name of the campaign, the question that you ask, the user data, the upload type. So everything gets organized for you by how you've collected it so that it's really easy to search and share a photo or a video when you need to do that. So from a sharing perspective, we have three main ways that we share with MemoryFox. You're able to download content and edit and crop videos directly in our story bank. So you can always download the original piece of content right from MemoryFox. We also have our Canva integration and our story pages. These are just unique landing pages that you can build with your collected stories. So that's just sort of a high level of what MemoryFox is. And here in our next screen here, we are going to talk about and dive right into the membership options here. And so what that means. So I'm actually going to pull up our new web page here that actually has all the different membership tiers, but we've broken it out into starter, growth, and campfire. So previously you may have seen, but we had an equitable pricing structure. So if you've met with MemoryFox before, you've ever seen our pricing page before, you've seen we had what's called equitable pricing, where it was we had unlimited tiers just based on the size of the nonprofit. But now we have membership options where you can opt in to whatever works best for you. So we have starter, which is our entry level tier that has some limitations, of course, but it's really just a starting point. It's a great place to get going. Maybe you have an upcoming event where you want to use MemoryFox to capture photos and videos leading up to that event or at it. Maybe you have a program coming up or a volunteer campaign, something specific you have in mind that you really want to do right off the bat. It comes with 3 story collection campaigns, 120 submissions, and we're going to talk a little bit more about what each of these features mean here. But we have different options. It's a lower price tier, a lower entry point, and it's starting as low as $99 a month when billed annually. We also now have monthly payment options, which is great. So I'll show you what those look like here in a moment. But again, this starter tier is a great place to start. It has a couple admin seats, a couple story collection campaigns, and some story pages, one branding theme. You can always hop on our website and chat us if you have questions. And then we have the growth tier here. This is your opportunity to get a couple more admin seats, 6 story collection campaigns. So it's a little bit more storage, a little bit more sharing options. It also includes our Canva integration and our automated transcription features. So these are some more things that bells and whistles that you may find important depending on what you want to do with your content and what your framework is for story collections. So the growth tier is our next option up. And then from there, we've got Campfire, which is more of all of those things Plus, we have our amazing dedicated customer support team. So, our customer success team will work with your organization one on one to build out a storytelling strategy that's tied to what you want to use MemoryFox for. So, we're going to touch on each of these a little bit more here in a moment. But, Carly, I'm going to pull up our pricing page and see if there are any immediate questions or any questions that you have for me right off the bat here. I'm going to pull up our new page here so we can go from here.
Well, sure. So I guess my first question, you touched on this a little bit, but I have heard you all talk about equitable pricing for so long. So is this instead where did that go, or are we still offering it? How does that work?
Great question. So the equitable pricing previously was where we would look at what in the US we have 990s, but it's the annual revenue, the size of the nonprofit. And so we would price things before just sort of based on, the size. So there was different price tiers, but within that there was unlimited, which meant, maybe we assumed that everybody needed everything. So we've
Right.
learned so much from our customers, and we've gotten so much feedback since then that they're like, well, what if I just need a certain amount to get started here? So we've shifted from that equitable pricing model where we just assume everybody needs everything and unlimited storage and unlimited campaigns. We've shifted to a membership model where we have different tiers so someone could opt into a lower price point. And so the equitable pricing is going away. We won't need your annual revenue anymore. That you can keep that to yourself between you and your board. So we won't be needing that anymore. It's solely based on what you need and what people need what they want to opt into based on their usage. So if you just need a certain amount of story collection campaigns and all that. So we divided these tiers based on just general usage and what we see folks need the most, and what we've learned so far from people about, what they need out of MemoryFox. So if they just from an entry level standpoint needed a couple campaigns to get started, they can always upgrade, right? So you can always start here and then upgrade as you go.
Oh, good. So that was my next question. How would it work if I am looking to maybe I start with a starter membership today, but after a few months, I'm deciding that actually growth works better for me. Is that something I can upgrade to in real time?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can definitely begin at the starter tier. And then if you find that you need more campaigns, you can always upgrade later. So that's definitely an option. And I do get asked a lot as well. What if I have 3 story collection campaigns running, and I hit my 120 submissions? What happens? Does it block them from submitting until I upgrade? No, we will not block anybody from submitting. Once you hit your 120 submissions, we we will send you a notification. We will notify you that you have reached your limit, and then you will need to upgrade to the next tier.
I
So
love
we're not
that.
gonna
So you're
we're
basic
not gonna
like
block anyone.
even if somebody is submitting a video to me and I've already hit 120, that video is still going to be able to be accessed, right? Like I'm not just going to lose it, right?
No, no, we're not going to block you from getting that video. But you will get a notification, and you will have to upgrade to the next tier to continue accessing submissions that come in. So it won't block them from doing it. And so that like once you upgrade, those will become available for download for you. Because we don't want to stop people from uploading through the campaigns, right? We want to encourage folks, as many people as possible, to upload to you and share their story. So we're not going to stop them, but we will just notify you that it's time for an upgrade.
Awesome.
And on that, Carly, I think this is actually a really good time to talk about the difference between submissions and content uploads. I
Yeah.
have gotten that question a lot here. So let's look at an example campaign together. So this is an example campaign here. We have, and this is from a customer that did a after school program campaign. They were asking families to share the impact of the program. So, what we are talking about when we're talking about uploads versus submissions. So, to kind of go back to this, we have 120 submissions per year. So what that means is that if someone were to submit through and answer one of these prompts here that you've created in your collection campaign, you get 120 of those per year. So if someone were to hit start and to go through submitting a story, it's 120 submissions through your storyteller prompts. If someone wanted to go through, and we have the other option here, which is 360 uploads per year, that is if someone wanted to upload content directly into the story bank on the back end, or if they wanted to upload content right through like a bulk upload of previously taken photos or videos. So sort of tied to storage. And so what that means is, yeah, you can scan the QR code and see how it works. But what that means is if someone wants to upload previously taken photos or videos, so whether that's you as like a staff member uploading content, or you're uploading through the collection tool, that's what uploads are. So it's just previously taken uploads.
Great. I'm actually going to submit a story through this
Oh,
campaign. So
great.
we'll
I
see
love that.
what happens. Awesome. If you had to say, I know you touched on this already, but if you had to say what would be like the main difference between starter or growth? Because I feel like maybe a lot of organizations feel like they might fall in between those. So
Yeah.
where would I fall if, like, what would be the big reason I should maybe upgrade to growth versus starter? What do you think?
Yeah, I think if your community is going to be submitting a certain amount, I mean, there's a couple different things, right? From a collection standpoint, so we like to break everything down into collect, organize, and share. From a collection standpoint, if you think your community is going to be, submitting a lot of content, that is, if you think you'd hit the 120 right away, obviously the submissions, if you think your community is going to be pretty active, if you are someone who maybe hosts a lot of events and it's really hard to get people to send you pictures and videos after the event, and you think people might be just uploading a ton of content. Maybe you have staff internally that are just going to upload content. If you think there's going to be more submissions and uploads, of course that's a good reason. From the organized side and the sharing side, the Canva integration and the video transcriptions are huge. The Canva integration makes the sharing so easy. I don't know about you, Carly, but the uploads folder in my Canva account looks a little crazy. But what's nice about the Canva integration is that it's a separate app in the App Store. So you can simply download that, and everything's stored and organized automatically into your Canva account. So if you're a Canva user, you might want to use Growth. The automated transcriptions is the text for all the videos. So here, if you're going to be needing those transcriptions, definitely Growth is a good option. Of course, more admin seats. So if you have more than 2 people using the platform, that's going to be a big one as well. So I would say those are the main reasons, and the main differences between starter and growth. Now with Campfire, if we're talking about difference between membership options, I think with Campfire, the big piece is that the customer support side, right? So these 2 tiers were created to be a little bit more of like a self-service option. It's a self-onboarding. If you sign up for MemoryFox in either of these tiers, you're just going to get a ton of information about how to get started on your own, which you can absolutely do. It's so easy to build a campaign. You simply get a branding form and you tell us what you want the logo to be on those campaigns. We set everything up for you. So that's very easy. But if you are somebody who maybe you're a small team and you don't work with anybody on storytelling, you're kind of on your own, you're on a little bit of a storytelling island. What's awesome about the Campfire tier is that you actually get access to our customer success team. You get a dedicated success manager who will work with you on actually executing on how to use MemoryFox and getting the most out of your account. So I'm going to pull up this Campfire support slide here. Yeah, and if any questions come up about this, feel free to ask. But what's really lovely about this tier is that we have learned so much from our community about how to collect stories and what people are doing with that, with the stories. And so we've learned so much from so many different types of nonprofits of all sizes and in every sector that we want to help you guys be successful with your account. So while it is very easy to set up a MemoryFox campaign, we can support you on, where those campaigns are going to live and breathe, the language that's used in them, ethical storytelling, youth, if you're collecting youth stories, what are some best practices around that? So we can really help you have success and set goals with your account so that we can help you hold yourself accountable to them. So it's broken up into 3 onboarding sessions to collect, organize, and share. So we'll help you build from a collection side, what those campaigns are going to look like. What are your first 3 to 6 story collection campaigns? And just help you get set up from the collection side, from the storage side, from the organized side. We'll look at how your campaigns are going to be aligned with how you want to stay organized as an organization. So we'll go into the back end and we'll do a training and we'll look at how that looks. And then from a sharing side, we'll look at the story pages, the Canva integration. Where do you want to share those stories? Do you want to embed your MemoryFox story page into a landing page that's going to be on your website? We'll help you get that set up. So we can help you set up your entire framework. And what I have found, and I hear from people is, well, we were thinking about hiring a consultant to help us with our storytelling. Consultants can be extremely expensive. And, there's all different kinds of consultants. And honestly, I think they do an amazing job. We work with a lot of partners at MemoryFox that are really good at what they do. However, with MemoryFox, we do get a specific storytelling support person who's going to help you with your actual campaigns. And what they'll do is they'll put time on the calendar. You're like, okay, I know I have a session with MemoryFox coming up next week. It's the time I have set aside to make sure that I am checking in on my MemoryFox campaigns. We'll see how they're performing. We have an event coming up, so I'm going to schedule time with them right before this gala that's coming up to talk about what are the best practices for getting people to share at events. Okay, great. I know that's on the calendar, so we know that that's going to be taken care of. So we're really there to help you along the way. And then lastly, we have our Campfire community. So what that means is we host events with our customers and we talk about what are all the different ways that folks are using MemoryFox campaigns to collect stories. So we have done advocacy ones where people are talking about how they're getting stories from advocates, from volunteers. We've done a Campfire series on Canva templates. What are all the amazing Canva templates that are out there that people are using to raise more funds? So we do all kinds of Campfire sessions. And what's really cool about those is our own customers come to the table and they share their own best practices about how they use MemoryFox. You get to learn from a community of storytellers on how they use our tools. So Campfire can be a really great collaborative membership where you really become a part of the MemoryFox community. And again, that can be upgraded later if needed. Do we have any questions about Campfire?
No, I think you touched on it because I was going to ask about why it's called a campfire, but it sounds like you're saying because they really do meet and they collaborate together, which is a really fun perk of being able to do that. So, no, I think you nailed it here. But what are we looking at here? We've got some what the pricing options are for campfire.
Yeah. Yeah, so what I just want to go through really quickly here is the different pricing options. Then we have the big shift that we also have now is we've got monthly pricing and annual pricing. So just to go down the line here, we've got starter. If you log onto the MemoryFox website now, you will see all the options presented for you. So anytime you want to get started, you simply click on the Get Started button here. It will take you right to a checkout. So it will show you what your savings are. There are a couple options where, if you did just need an additional admin seat, maybe you're not ready to do the campfire membership, or you don't have the funds quite yet, but you want to add an annual strategy session. You can actually add this at checkout. So if you just want to do one session with our team with that starter or growth tier, you can add it here at checkout, and then we'll be able to schedule that onboarding session with you. It's called an annual strategy session because what we're going to do in this first session is we're going to spend time setting up and structuring your account for what you want the year to look like with MemoryFox. So we'll do a quick onboarding for how to use the tool, but we'll have a personalized discussion based on what you want to use MemoryFox for, and we'll make sure that it's tailored to very specifically how to launch right into your MemoryFox account. So you can add that here. If you're not ready for Campfire, you can just add a strategy session. If you wanted to just add one branding theme, you could do that here as well. We
So,
do have, yeah, go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say that I think I love seeing all the options laid out here. I think like I love that there is, first of all, transparency when it comes to pricing, but second of all, flexible pricing, right? If we're talking about monthly or annual. But I actually was wondering, do you have like an example of like somebody that I can see that's had success using MemoryFox? Like what would that necessarily look like in practice?
Yeah, that's a great question. So let me pull up one of my favorite examples from one of our customers, Link Housing. And actually, I'm going to pull up our website here because we have a published customer success story here that people can view anytime. But this is a great example of how one of our customers, they essentially do affordable housing and supportive homes for low income families, seniors, special needs populations in California. I love this example because they set this up with our customer success team. So this would be an example of how someone used MemoryFox in our Campfire tier. Now, that's not to say you couldn't do what they do on your own and set all of this up, but they worked with our customer success team to set this framework up for how they use MemoryFox. So, Link Housing, what they did is they created a MemoryFox campaign that they were using to collect housing stories. And so some day in the life, just what it's like to be a part of this community. They just wanted to get a really quick snapshot of what it's like to be a part of this residential community. So they created a MemoryFox campaign that was really simple, and they gave it to their staff, the families that are a part of this program, the community, everybody. They shared this with the campaign, and they said, and we did a launch day. They said, we just want to share this campaign with the community. We want you guys to share what it's like to be a part of this. And it was a really simple, just photo drive. They just wanted to ask folks to share pictures of what it's like. And so they presented this, and part of the process was they met with our customer success team to think about, okay, how can we launch this campaign? Like, what are we going to do to introduce this to our community? What do you recommend? And so they recommended doing that launch day where they gave guidelines and expectations prior to this new process. So everyone was aware of this campaign going into it. They didn't just like send an email out and say, good luck. They did like a whole launch of this campaign so that people understood, what the purpose was. And so everybody got this campaign here where they submitted photos. And as everything came in, everything was tagged and organized by the name of the campaign. And it was also internally organized by their staff with things like food, volunteers, health, so that they could keep things organized internally and ideally use it for their impact report later. But the best part about this is our actual story page. So this is an example of, and you probably saw this earlier, Carly, we talk about story pages. If you've ever built a web page before, it's very similar. It's just a landing page. So And what's really cool about what Link Housing did is they did a very simple grid format. They chose a feature image, this really great photo that someone submitted, and they did a simple Meet Our Residents page. And this got embedded directly into their website. So what's really cool about this option is that I feel like every time I log in here, there is a new picture that I haven't seen. Like I have not seen these pictures before, and I look at this page all the time. So these must have just gotten submitted. But what's unique about the MemoryFox story pages is that you can either, drag and drop individual pieces of content into a shareable page, or you can select a campaign and have this automatically update with submissions from the community. So when they had the staff and folks uploading these pictures here, the marketing person who set this up simply has to hit approve to the pictures that she likes, and it goes directly into her website. So anytime you're doing like a live feed page like this, of course, having an approval set up is really helpful. But it was so successful because everybody knew about this campaign ahead of time. They can check back here and see all the pictures and what it's like to be a part of this community. Anybody who wants to see and learn about this program, they can go right to the Link Housing website and see such a cool display of all the photos that get submitted, as what it's like to be a part of this community. If funders want to see why they should give, or if they, just want to see a little bit of what it's like to be a part of this community, they can come here anytime and see this live feed. And this is tied directly to a MemoryFox campaign that is running all the time. And I know like they've learned a lot this process. So they make live updates to that campaign. So it's still that same link. If someone clicks on this link or scan this QR code in the space, they can upload photos and see this campaign anytime. So I love this example because it really provides such a cool overview of what it's like to be. And it was so simple. Just a quick photo upload of what it's like to be a part of this community, and they upload these, and it's a live feed. So that's one of my favorite examples, I would say.
So, thinking about this example, you have mentioned a few times ethical storytelling, which has me thinking a lot about consent to use stories. So, if you're thinking about a story page like this, where would consent fall into play when it comes to creating something like this?
So we build consent into part of the collection process. So what's really nice about the way MemoryFox campaigns are set up is that when you are asking folks to share their story, you can actually customize the consent form per campaign. So if, for example, in this campaign, they were actually asking family members and staff and participants to share stories, they did a pretty general consent form so that everybody understood where the story was going to live. So they say, hey, by submitting this story, you're giving us permission to share this directly on our website. Like these are going publicly. So anybody who was submitting a photo, they knew right away where their story was going to live, so they could feel really good about sharing it. But yeah, building consent into the story collection process is a big piece of the puzzle, right? So we can change the consent form per campaign. And sometimes I feel like it's helpful to, even if it's an internal staff campaign, you may have already gotten consent from your staff to share pictures and videos, but it's a good reminder is that if somebody did want to share consent, or if you did
Yes.
need a staff
That,
member
yeah.
to share a photo or video, you can use this as a guide and say, hey, don't forget, if you are submitting a picture or video, XYZ, whatever consent you need to remind them about when they're submitting a photo or video, you can use these MemoryFox story collection campaigns as a guide as to what you are expecting, and reminding your staff and volunteers is what's appropriate from like a storytelling perspective.
Awesome. So it looks like we have about 10 minutes left.
Okay.
I'm wondering, let's see, we went through the collection process. You talked a little bit about how you can organize your content with the different tags, and with the different like how the story bank works. And then of course you shared about the Canva integration, you shared about the story pages. So it's been really great to see all those examples. But I guess maybe with our final minutes, I'm wondering how do I get started today? What might be like the next step I can take, or maybe, the first step I can take, and what
Yeah.
would that look like today?
Great question. Well, I'm glad you asked. So, we have been running a kickoff promotion where essentially anybody who gets started by November 6th, which I know is a little bit of a quick turnaround, but we launched this alongside our pricing last week. So, we're running to the end of that promotion here. But what's really great is that at any point you can go on our website, and right now the promotions that we have going on for our beginner tiers is that you can sign up for starter and get growth. So what that means is you can go into, and I'll actually just show you right now. So you can go in anytime here and actually check out right on the MemoryFox website. So the way that the promotion is working is that and through tomorrow, if you sign up and you click get started and you check out here, we will actually automatically upgrade your account to a growth tier. So that's a current promotion we have going on. You can check out right here through our website. And so just to show you back on this page here, so normally that growth tier is $249 a month when billed annually. You can get that growth tier for that $99 a month if you book by tomorrow. And then for Campfire, we are doing a $250 donation back. So if you do sign up for that Campfire tier, we will donate $250 back to your organization through any donation link provided. If you wanted us to wait till Giving Tuesday to do that, we could do that for you. But we could do it basically as soon as you sign up as well. So both of those options are available, and you essentially could just go to our website and check out, and those will be applied. The other option is that if you have more questions, you want to talk about it, let's meet. I do think that it can be really helpful to, even though we did do this high level overview today, it can be helpful to spend one-on-one time just talking about your storytelling goals, what specifically you want to use MemoryFox for. If you don't see a time on my calendar that works for you, shoot me an email. Let's find a time to chat. I got plenty of time for you guys today and tomorrow. So let me know how I can help schedule a time with me, and we can talk about it.
Well, great. Thanks for laying all those out there because I know there's just a lot going on. So it's nice to see really
Yeah.
transparently what we can get done tomorrow, what I can sign up for,
Yeah, and I'll
especially for
pull it
that
back to the
campfire
screen.
membership, especially getting started with that campfire membership before end of year giving. I mean, I can't think of a better way to start my end of year Giving Tuesday campaign right into my end of year fundraising campaigns than
Right.
than to get some really great stories right off the bat. So I love that. What do you
Mhm.
think? Do you have anything else you want to share with us? Anything that I didn't ask you about that you didn't get to touch on yet, Danielle?
I think that the main difference, if we just are kind of zooming out here, and everything, is that it's so easy to get started. And, it always was easy to get started, but we can actually, I mean, for as low as, because now we have this option, and I'll actually go over to the monthly option here. So if you wanted to get started for $165 today, you could. And what's really cool about these new options is that once you hit the pay button here, you can get started for as low as 165, and you're prompted to provide your branding and anything, your logo and all that stuff. We set everything up for you. So if you have an upcoming event, Giving Tuesday, a program coming up, like now is such a good time to start, because we can actually get you launched as soon as you sign up here. So I feel like just the biggest difference now is that the getting started and how easy and accessible it is to folks to just get going. You can get started at this lower cost, which we're hoping, and we know there's always going to be approvals, right? Like every dollar spent at your mission is so important, and we need to make sure that every dollar spent is for a good reason. So if you're somebody who has had to normally get approvals for huge, purchases, this is such a smaller opt-in option to get started for really low cost. So we can really prove MemoryFox this way and help you get set up with a couple campaigns right off the bat. So if there's something coming up, now is such a great time to get started. And we will probably never do like this can't this particular promo is ending on the 6th. So this will be gone, unfortunately. I know folks have been asking me, hey, like I'm not ready. I don't think my board is going to let me spend any money until maybe the end of the year. There may be some more promotions that come out for like end of year. However, nothing like this. This gets started for growth at the price of starter. That will be very specific to this kickoff promotion. So if it is something that is important to you to have a little bit more, maybe consider doing the monthly payment so you can get started. Um, and then if you ever needed to maybe switch over, maybe you paid for 1 month and you're like, hey, I actually am ready to pay the balance and we'll switch over. We can maybe work something out there. But definitely this opting into the growth versus the price of starter, that is going to go away after the 6th. So something to just keep in mind. But yeah, that is really it. And I'm bummed that our LinkedIn Live didn't work today, but I am glad that we did get an opportunity to unpack some stuff. And I know this recording will go out and people will get a chance to learn about it, but feel free to reach out, meet with me, hop on our chat, ask questions there, shoot me an email. We're here for it.
Yeah, we will. We recorded this, so I will post this on LinkedIn and maybe people can watch it and pretend it's live. I mean, what's the difference,
Yeah,
right?
I know. Yeah,
I
for
asked all the
sure.
questions that we anticipated that were going to come in today anyway. So, of
Okay.
course, if anybody has any other questions, we are either one of us are happy to answer those at any time. Really appreciate everyone's willingness to learn more about MemoryFox, and we're just excited to be able to have this transparent pricing to share with you all, especially just thinking about getting people started where they're at, right? Like where we can really get the stories that they already have at their fingertips so we can get those captured, organized, and get those out the door and shared for you. So, really looking forward to working with nonprofits of all sizes, all missions. And with that, I think we will wrap up and we will hopefully meet with some of you very soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Carly.
Bye,
Thanks,
everybody.
everyone.